Hello, my name is Christy Godwin, and I'm a psychic medium. I'm here with Kayla today. Thank you so much for being with me here today, Kayla.
Thanks for having me.
She had messaged me about an angel story, and when I read her beautifully written version of this angel story, I had to have her let me record it, and she was so gracious to let me do that. I thank you so very much. Now, this angel visit actually happened in a dream, right?
It did.
And about 2 months ago. So if you can walk us through that.
Sure, yes. So when I came to with this dream, we were standing in a yard of a farmhouse, and for some reason it felt like it was in Indiana. I'm not really sure how I came to that conclusion, but that's what it felt like. And I was standing there with a woman and a little toddler, maybe a year and a half to 2 years old. And we were conversing with each other, and the baby started crying. And I asked the mother if I could pick up the child and just try to comfort it. And she said yes. And as I'm reaching for this child, a man just like pops into existence right in front of us, standing in front of these trees. And I literally stop what I'm doing and I look at the mother, we look at each other, and it was one of those moments where you're just kind of like, are you seeing what I'm seeing? There's this man that just popped into existence. Now, he had armor on from almost like the gladiator Roman era. And it had everything to him had like a blue tint, almost like he had an aura of blue around him. And out of nowhere, everything really happens quite fast. We notice that there is this bus that is all armored out, and it has the windows tinted, and there's guardrails all around it, and it's just barreling down the long gravel driveway that she has. And she actually hurries, grabs her baby, and then a huge commotion happens. At this point, I have no idea where the woman goes to, or where the blue man at this point of what I was referring to goes to. And the bus comes to a stop, and a bunch of men come barreling out of it. And they're all kind of dressed in what I would consider being SWAT attire. And at this point, they're forcing me into the bus. I'm at gunpoint. I'm terrified. I have no idea what's happening. And I get on the bus, they take off down the road, and probably just a few minutes into driving, a huge boom happens, and a person just comes falling through the ceiling of the bus. And it turns out being what I would consider the blue man. And he looks a little different now. He actually has wings, and instead of there just being the blue glow to him, now there's fire around him, and it's like a bluish white fire, and it's literally he's engulfed in it. And he spreads his wings out within the bus, which I can tell you was quite cramped as it was with all these men. And the men tried to charge him, and whenever they come into contact with his fire, it burns them, and it kind of puts them down for the count. And at this point, I'm just standing watching all of it. I have no idea what I'm capable of doing. And the gentleman now, which I assume at this point is Archangel Michael, and he reaches his hand out to me, and he asked me to go with him. And I did. I felt safe with him, even though these men are touching him and falling to the floor of the bus. I, for some reason, still felt safe with him.
And when you were in this dream at this point, so you're asleep, but it feels like one of those dreams that is so real. Were
Yes.
you consciously thinking in your dream, this is Michael, or were you still confused as to who it was at that point?
At this point in the dream, I thought it was Michael. At this point, I did. Just because of, associating him, he's very well known for having the blue, and he just kind of had the energy of Michael to him. And I actually call on Archangel Michael quite a bit whenever I ask for safety, and whenever I thank him for safety. That's who I talk to on a daily basis. So just the fact that it's just the energy of him. It was very
And
good.
it's true. A lot of people can easily identify him. Not, he always presents basically in the same way with the armor and the blue tent. And then when he's really there for business, his wings come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he almost drops his name into your mind.
Yes.
Thinking, who are you? And then all of a sudden you get the name Michael. Just like that. Okay, so now you're in the bus.
Yes, that's exactly.
Hands out and you're going with him. Then what happens?
Yes, and we just leave pretty much the way that he got in through the bus, which is the hole that he made. And I remember basically flying with him and being absolutely terrified but excited at the same time because I'm scared of heights. And we show up at this house, and I can see the house in my mind's eye, and it kind of reminded me of like industrial chic, where there is touches of, metal fixtures everywhere and cement, but it still has that homey feel to it. Mm-hmm. We enter in through, it's more like a huge bay window that you can open up all the way or push it all the way open, and it allows you to bring the outside in. Mm-hmm. And we must have made a commotion because there ended up being individuals at this house that come running in. There was 3 people, and 2 of them were men and 1 was a woman. And the woman actually made a comment. She seems kind of concerned and surprised that we were there, and she made the comment of, "What are you doing here? She's not supposed to be here yet." And Michael responds with, "Well, I had to save her." It is what it is, pretty much. And so they leave. And they're just kind of accepting of what he had to say. I mean, I guess when you know, and when you have to take action, you take action. And that's Michael. Exactly what he did.
Who's going to argue with
you? Exactly. So then at this point in the dream, I'm just kind of waiting for him to talk to me and try to explain what's happening. And he's in the process of taking off his big pieces of armor. And then I wake up before I had the chance to talk to him. But believe me, when I woke up, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to document this in my journal. Yes. This was insane.
So I am so glad you do keep a journal. That is so important. I'm better about it sometimes than others, but it's really important to keep a journal for your dreams. Now, when you came out of this dream, did you have any understanding of what it meant?
No. I've actually had to really think about it. I've meditated on it just because I really feel that it was significant. And just the fact that I've remembered the details, and almost the more I think about it and the more I meditate on it, it's like more comes to me. Mm-hmm. And I think that it may be a higher consciousness, a higher coming into knowing of my abilities and working within the light, advancing possibly sooner than what they expected.
Now, when we discussed this, I will say, because I read it and instantly I knew when you were, when I read, because when you sent me a very detailed, it was beautiful writing, recapturing the stream. It's like, okay, Michael's there and he's clearly protecting her from something. And so I kind of just dropped into meditation at that point. It's like, okay, what is she being protected from? And I got, it's her time. And her time for what? And then the answer was, she's very gifted. It's her time. Speed up. I said, and then I got it. Mm-hmm. Seen the scenario enough to understand what they were saying to me. And so my interpretation to everyone who is listening to this was that now Kayla is just starting out on this journey of exploring her gifts as a medium, as a psychic. And just the second she popped on the screen, I could tell she was incredibly gifted. But you also, when you're incredibly gifted, you still have to work it. You still have to go down the path of learning and just understanding how Spirit is communicating with you. And I really felt like in her soul plan, in her life plan, she was not supposed to open up and really start embracing this gift for about 5 more years. But what had happened to her is not unlike, I see everyone is being called forth. And I feel like that it was time. And Michael had gone to get her and say, it's time. You know, it's all hands on deck. We are having a huge energetic shift. And I have been getting from Uriel, who is another archangel who comes to me frequently. He's been saying that to me a lot. It's all hands on deck time. Energetic shift coming. And so I really felt like there was a fight for Kayla's abilities. Is she going to open up and embrace this? Because Kayla, I feel like that once you truly open up and embrace it and start honing those abilities, you're just going to be extremely gifted. And we are all gifted in different areas. You know, I've met some phenomenal psychics. I can talk to past loved ones like nobody's business. And Kayla is just going to have some very unusual gifts. And I feel like it was Michael really just pulling her up and saying, it's time. And the lady saying, you know, addressing, it's too soon, it's not time. It was pretty much, no, it is what it is. It's time.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I was telling this to Kayla, she was like, yes, yes, yes. Whenever, and you could really feel it resonating in you when I was telling you that.
Oh, for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
When you are getting a truth, that's another takeaway. When you're getting a truth or someone is telling you something, you're in a reading, you're in a psychic reading, whatever it is, and something is really resonating with you, that's a sign that it is accurate. Because, you know, when someone is telling you something, even if you're not psychic and they're lying to you or it's not true, your insides kind of like cinch up, like, oh, this doesn't feel right. So I am very excited to see where Kayla's going to be in the next few years, and hopefully she lets me watch this journey with her.
Oh, for sure. I would love for you to be a part of this journey.
I would love to see it. You're going to do some fun things. But thank you
I'm
so
excited.
much for joining me and telling your story. If anyone has any questions or any stories they would like to send me, please contact me at ChristyGodwin111 at gmail.com. Thank you.